A warm welcome to everybody, those who have joined with us on stage today. On behalf of the residents of Auroville, the Auroville Working Groups, and the Auroville Foundation Office, we are delighted to welcome the Governor of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and Srimati Anga Arlekar Madam, and our family members, Secretary Madam Dr. Jayanti Ravi, and OZ Sir Sitaraman Sir. Thank you very much for all those who have come here once again. And Sir and Madam, this being the first time of you visiting Auroville, we have prepared short presentations, not taking too much of your time, to give you an understanding all the activities that we do in Auroville. So we'll start with the first presentation from Sindhuja, the future city of Auroville. Thank you. Please.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, ma'am. I will run you through this presentation in as short a format as possible, because speaking about Auroville, one needs always more time. There's so much to say. But we will try to touch upon the aspects of the physical city of Auroville here in this presentation. I'm Sindhuja and I'm from the Auroville Town Development Council, and I'm a long-term resident of Auroville as well. So Auroville, Mother called it the city of the future. So let's go through the presentation. We have taken you also through the city exhibition and Kala Kendra. So we have already given you some background. The vision of Auroville, the founder of Auroville, Mother, based on the vision and philosophy of Shri Aurobindo, Auroville is meant to be the next experiment, the next manifestation of their vision, ashram being the first. And the form that this experiment will take is the form of a city which will eventually house 50,000 people. Right now, the current population of Auroville, the adult population, is about 2,000 after 58 years. She gave us a very clear roadmap, a very clear vision of what Auroville ought to be. She gave us a charter. She didn't mince words. She told us exactly what we need to be. She told us to be willing servitors of the divine consciousness, which is the base of our life here, which ought to be the base of our life here. She said Auroville will be the place of unending education and constant progress and a youth that never ages. And it will be the bridge between the past and the future. Taking advantage of all discoveries from within and without, Auroville will boldly spring towards the future. And Auroville will be a site of material and spiritual researches. So Auroville will be the place where this marriage of spirit and matter will happen in a very concrete way and be a living example for the world as to what that looks like. And she also said it will be the living embodiment of an actual human unity. She used the word actual, and she meant to go beyond the normal conception of what human unity looks like, that we find the divine within first, unite with it, and then naturally the outward expression of that will be an actual human unity in action. How it started in 1968, she had this ceremony in the amphitheater of Auroville. 124 nations and 23 Indian states brought soil from their respective homelands, and the urn was made. And there the image of the galaxy which we saw this morning at Kala Kendra, this map, this plan that we call the galaxy, it was already displayed. And it was not just an image, it was a great detailed model worked out by Mr. Roger, the chief architect chosen by the Mother. And she had worked with him, through him. And we believe that the plan in all its aspect and all its elements is a plan given to us by her. And as we go on manifesting it, we are still today discovering, and we are surprised at each turn how futuristic, how amazing and how inconceivable that in 1960s somebody could have thought of a city like this, which still the world doesn't have. We are still struggling with pollution, we're still struggling with traffic, we're still struggling with how to build. And she gave all the solutions, which we won't have time to go in detail today, but we have the master plan and we have the zonal development plans as a testament. And so there are all aspects of life here in Auroville, from farming to green work, to architecture, to working in the solar kitchen, serving everybody food, you name it. So where your calling is, where you want to serve the collective the best, you can choose your sphere of work and work. And Mother said 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, or 36 hours a week is a mandatory serving that one has to do for the collective, and the rest of the time is used for one's aspiration to unite with the divine, to find what that means, to be a willing servitor of the divine consciousness. The galaxy plan. So what does the galaxy plan actually have in its elements? So broken down, it has the city center. The heart of the city center is the peace area, the lake and the Matra Mandir itself with its gardens, and all the other zones around Auroville, the residential, the economic, the cultural and the international zones melt into the city center. That's the image we see there on the right, the city center, which is a thriving city center, yet a silent city center. So both can coexist, and it will coexist in Auroville. And only 38% of the city will be built. So the mother envisioned Auroville as a dense urban fabric. She gave these buildings the lines of force, which are those tall buildings we see there. She didn't imagine that we would live in scattered settlements in, vast green spaces, because that's the most unsustainable way to live. She actually said that people will live in close quarters, and the rest of the spaces around these urban fabric, these buildings will be green, will be there for us to enjoy. So in the Auroville plan, there is an unprecedented 212 square meter of open space per residence, whereas the WHO only recommends 9 square meter per person outside in other cities. So it will be the greenest city once manifested. The base of the legal base of Auroville, the Auroville Foundation Act, which came into effect in 1988, gives us the governing board, which is the superintending authority of Auroville. It manages all the affairs of Auroville and ensures that Auroville is developed as per its plan, the master plan, which came into statutory existence in 2001 and now upheld by the Supreme Court as having statutory force, and they have asked us to go ahead and implement it. And there are 2 advisory bodies, an International Advisory Council and the Residents Assembly, which is essentially all the registered residents of Auroville. These 2 bodies have an advisory role to the governing board to help it to implement this master plan and the vision. From 2021, we will have seen a lot of news about Auroville, because Auroville renewed its development in 2021 thanks to the coming of a new governing board and Madam Secretary Dr. Jayanti Ravi, and they took stock of what has happened. Now Auroville is 58 years old in 2026, and we have done a lot, but we have also not done a lot. So they took stock of the entirety of the situation as is, and they said, what needs to be done to take this to fruition? Why has it not yet been built, this amazing city that the mother has given us? So the first project that the governing board asked us to take up is the Crown Road. There we see the image on the bottom right. And as you see, this is a drone footage taken a few years ago, and it already shows the crown almost manifested. So in fact, what we believe is that after Matra Mandir, the crown is the most important project for Auroville, being the spinal cord of the infrastructure development. From there, all the nerves and all the veins and arteries of Auroville will develop, and all the zones will get their blood and fuel. So this Crown Road having come on the ground for us is very symbolic as the first step towards what's next, towards the future. So we have reaffirmed our commitment in the last 5 years, prioritized all the development and especially the Crown Road. And in 2021, the governing board told us, go ahead and implement the master plan, no more delays. So we are sticking to that plan, and all the infrastructure work, ecological work, everything is going on simultaneously, side by side. Next. And of course, to invite more participants than the current 2,000, one of the biggest crises we have in Auroville, if we can use that word, is housing. Because we need to find the money to build these housing. That's an infrastructure that we are not depending on grant and aid. So we are finding ways to build this housing and increase the population to 15,000 through donations and other means. And other forms of community engagement and participation through hands-on work is also being implemented and envisaged as we go. Next. These are the key developments underway. We have already touched on many of them, but notably the economic zone also will now be put into motion. We'll have to take up the building of the economic zone, because the Auroville development and sustenance of its population cannot just depend on government grants. It needs to be a self-sustained township. Right now we have about 700 units. You can go to the next slide, please. We have about 700 units generating revenue for Auroville. That's the very purpose of the existence of those units, to generate revenue for Auroville, and we'll be creating more industries and non-polluting industries, to be very precise. And some of these are the developments which we envisage: some skill development center, some service nodes to receive more tourists, a town hall to take up the new administration framework that needs to expand as we envisage the population to be growing. Next. Other projects, Mother's Flower Garden is a very important project for us. It's not an infrastructure project, but it has a very deep spiritual dimension. The mother gave spiritual significance for 898 different kinds of plants and flowers, and this garden will house the samples of all of them and will be a museum, a living museum of sorts. And other development also. For paucity of time, I will run through these. Please go ahead. Next. Of course, Auroville has been a pioneer since the very beginning in alternative energy, and now we are going to switch over the city center from fossil fuel vehicles to e-transport only. So the next time some of us come into Auroville, we may have to cross gates. We may have to switch modes of transport from fossil fuel to e-vehicles, but that is moving towards the vision of the mother. Next. Again, all of these areas, next, are being touched upon. Education in Auroville, which I think Sire will go into detail. I don't want to speak further on this. Next. And notably in the last 4 years, because there has been a new impetus given to the development in Auroville, there has also been a new movement of resistance to this speed of development which has come in, because we have been a kind of a sleepy town in some sense up to 2021. So since we have to wake everybody up, there has of course been challenges also in that waking up process. Some of those challenges have been over 30 writ petitions filed between 2021 and 2026. And I'm very happy to say that most of these writ petitions have been dismissed till date, and we are, enjoying no injunctions, and only 3 writ petitions remain to be dismissed. And notably, we have 5 victories in the Supreme Court in 4 years. This is, I think, unprecedented, and it shows how much India is behind and supporting and is able to recognize the importance of the project and the vision of the project. So Auroville residents, we are very happy about this. Next. Yes, about the units of Auroville and the economy, Chandresh will speak after me. So you can go to the next slide, please. Next. So the road ahead, of course, we have to expand. It will take what it takes, and we invite everybody who wants to participate in Auroville in any form that you want to participate to come forward, and we are happy to integrate you into the work that we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sindhuja. So next we would like to present for the working committee. So on behalf of the working committee, I have come here. So once again, thank you very much. So next one, please. Please go to the next one. The working committee, sir. So we are basically the representatives of the resident assembly. Of the previous presentation that Sindhuja has done, the 3 important bodies, which is the governing board, International Advisory Council, and the resident assembly. We are the representatives of the resident assembly. And we are the bridge between the governing board and the resident assembly. So all the decisions which are made in the governing board, through the working committee, we facilitate and implement with the residents for manifestation of Auroville. So the different roles and responsibility and areas at which we actually play is, so we're part of a lot of issues facing between Auroville and the outside world, and all the units which are utilizing the government grants, we get the annual report from them and get the data, and we submit to the Auroville Foundation. And since we are in touch with residents, we're also part of the consultation or their visa processes. We play a minor role in it. And especially when we have a lot of VIPs and VVIPs and other delegates who come to Auroville, we have to make sure that they get a right perspective and understanding of Auroville. So we play a major role in that also. And especially going to the last point, which is actually not visible. From 1968, when Auroville started, and all these years, Auroville has developed from scratch nearly, from all the green infrastructure and everything. But unfortunately, over the period of time, over the transition, there's been a slight, but not a very large deviation of our purpose, the dream of mother, the dream of Shri Aurobindo, and why all of us actually came to Auroville. So this deviation, with the support of the governing board, which was appointed in 21, and Secretary Madam, we got more strength and we were able to take things forward. So even though in social medias and different areas of aspect, you can see there's a lot of issues going on in Auroville, this is because everything which has been diverted is slowly getting aligned. So as usual, things getting aligned, there'll be a lot of misinformations which will be flowed everywhere. So we are also focusing, the working committee is focusing to bring back the right informations and the correct factual work that is actually going in Auroville. Next slide, please. And as any country requires and any state requires, it is the same for Auroville. The future of Auroville depends on the newer generation, which is the youths of Auroville. And the youths of Auroville needs to be empowered, encouraged. And this is what we have received from the governing board and Secretary Madam. So the working committee in full-fledged has worked with three important aspects. One is the youth community coordinators. So we have selected 20 different community coordinators from Auroville. They will represent different communities, and we will start a scratch training with them so that in future they'll become the main pillars of Auroville and they can contribute to Auroville at their own capacities. And especially the information that is flowing outside by non-Aurovillians who are not related to Auroville is immense, and especially wrong informations. So we're trying to correct all this through the different social medias and platforms and to make sure the right informations are given out. And as I said in the first point, empowering the youths, which is very important. As 1968, the pioneers who started Auroville, by now they should be average between 65 to 70. And we need their knowledge, their skills, and their guidance to take Auroville forward. And Auroville is a place of experiment, and we will continue to experiment with great support. Thank you very much. So next I call upon Chandresh from FAMC.
Yeah, my name is Chandresh. I'm with the Funds and Assets Management Committee under the governing board. Mother had said that Auroville is a city of truth, and also Shri Aurobindo had said that money in its manifestation on earth today is a means for the development and progress of humanity, right? So funds and assets are very much necessary aspects of the development of the city and for bringing well-being and allowing support for all the residents so that they can focus on supporting the community and their own development. One of the other things that we talk about is the collectivity. And you can go to the next one, please. In collectivity, everybody works for the community, and in turn, the community as a whole takes care of the simple and basic needs of all the individuals. So the focus is on karma yoga and working together and working on the human unity aspects of each search by themselves. Okay, so it's a unity in diversity in search of the truth. Now, this is the overview of the governing board of Auroville Foundation, was part of the act, as Sindhuja mentioned, and some of the three primary bodies that are directly under the governing board are the Town Development Council, which Sindhuja presented, then the working committee, which Arun just presented, and we are the third body, Funds and Assets Management Committee, and various things that happen in Auroville are all interconnected and related together with the three working groups, which we meet very often and try and coordinate our work together. Okay, so next slide, please. And I'll quickly just go through. This is what is in the Foundation Act, where the committees of the governing board will be appointed by the governing board for its duties and making efficient discharge of its duties of the governing board and performance of its functions under the Act. And there's another rules and regulation where it says that the FAMC is constituted by the governing board under section 1 of subsection 1 of 16 with the secretary of the foundation as its convener when not exceeding 10 members. So this is basically in the Act. So FAMC is constituted by the governing board directly. Next slide, please. So work organization will be organized. This is what was asked by the mother, right? How will work be organized and distributed in Auroville? This is one of the earlier and many questions and other things Aurovillians would ask her for guidance. So she said money would no more be the sovereign lord. Individual value would have a greater importance than the value due to material wealth and financial position. So work would not be there as a means for gaining one's livelihood. It would be the means whereby to express oneself, develop one's capacities and possibilities while doing at the same time service to the whole group, which on its side would provide for each one subsistence and for the field of his work and development. Next. Now, I'll just briefly go over the various subgroups that FAMC works with for around the community's development and need. So, one of the area is the farm sector, green sector, where we have the green buffer zones, we have the farms. Now that the city is developing, we also have the parks that are coming up because master plan has 4 big major parks as arteries, green arteries in its master plan. Then we have as we said, it's a city at the service of truth, our compliance and effective utilization. We have to be scrupulous in its use, as Shri Rajendra had said. So accounts and audits and reporting department, this is helping with the income generating sector, so economy can be planned. Then budgets for the service, this is effective and planned budgeting for the various schools, for the different services, electrical department, all the various services of Auroville. And then we also look at the budget, economic, finances and budget planning office, so we can work with the compliance that are needed for the Indian government regulations, so that when we use the money and we plan for it, we also try to look for collective aspect of cost center budgeting and planning, so we can be more efficient. Then there is also the grants. Over the earlier years, Auroville had a lot of grant dependency from a lot of other countries, and from the later, once the Foundation Act was great, Government of India also generously provided a lot of grants. So there is a channeling that has to be done properly so that we can report, we can also scale the requirement of funds that are required. So that's another subgroup. Then the main assets are the housing and building services. We have about 1800 assets. So maintenance of these assets, allocations, when new people come in, and all that is another group that manages under fund FAMC. And currently we have a lot of land in the city master plan area and the green belt area that have to be managed. Basically encroachment has to be curtailed. We have to also make sure that we consolidate all the key areas of city so that the master plan can be developed along with the ATDC. Then last one, another one is prosperity service. This is simple needs supported for all. We are working so that each of the area for water, energy, electricity, housing and food, clothing, all these are done as a collective aspect of it. And hospitality is our outward facing economic factor, where we have themed tours, events, workshops, guests, eateries. And one big factor is the integral wellness and health and healing sector, where we want to see that other multimodal health facilities are available, Ayurveda or allopathy or other forms, but more how we can take care of all the residents by working together. And last one is, of course, the human resources, where it's a very important aspect, where the governing board also wanted that currently we put some strength on it in terms of when the newcomers come in, to give them orientation as to what it is a vision-driven city. So Auroville needs to, people when they come in, they should be introduced in a gentle way to learn for themselves what's Auroville all about. So orientation and then consecration. So basically when people are around some program, we can work together to get a consecration and reconsecrate ourselves as to what we came here for, rather than deviating from the core goal. So that's basically the overview of all the groups that are under funds and assets management. Next one. And so this is presently my slide.
Thank you very much, Chandresh. So for the final presentation, I call upon Orivan from Sire.
Good morning. So SIRE stands for Shri Aurobindo International Institute of Educational Research. It is the umbrella body of all educational work in Auroville and educational and social science research work in Auroville. Our anchor point is Shri Aurobindo. And what Shri Aurobindo has brought to the world is quite a radical evolutionary perspective. Though if we look at how nature functions, it seems absolutely logical that human beings, that man is a transitional being, that evolution will go on. And there will be something coming along, whether through us or after us, that is as different from man as man is from the monkey. Now, what is quite lovely is that in the difference between us and the monkey is that we have the capacity to dream, to imagine, to project. And so what Shri Aurobindo proposes, he says this will happen. This is nature's way of doing things. But we may, if we so choose, perhaps participate. And this is part of the work that we are here for in Auroville. The question it brings up for us at SIRE is then, what is the purpose of education? Because so far, we are still very much in the world looking at education from the perspective of an industrial model, of creating youth who can fit in to an existing system, which is changing very, very fast. Moreover, within India, we are still too much within the Macaulayan system of education that was brought in. There are changes that are being proposed at policy level. There are changes that are being tried out on the ground, but it's still not enough. We do not come to the question of, but why education? Now, the last few years, AI has come along, fantastic, great push to say whatever you're doing is not working. Because everything in education that is linked to information, now we have tools which can function so much faster than us. And so we are brought back to the questions that were asked thousands of years ago here itself. What is the knowledge, what are the qualities that human beings as human beings must possess and develop? And this is where Auroville and the work at SIRE dives into the possibility of being a living laboratory. Going deep in the roots, the experience, the knowledge of ancient India, of different parts of the world, and seeing how we can look towards a future that is walking towards us, and how in matter, in an actual realization, we can create something for a new world. So this is an overall sense of the work, or the questions rather, at SIRE. In your time here, hopefully in the next few years, we will explore more aspects and the precise initiatives that we're taking up at the moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Kindly requesting Honorable Governor, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, please join us on stage. Secretary Madam Dr. Jayanti Ravi to please start on stage. Hosi Sir, Sitaraman Sir, please stay on stage. Jaya, kindly requesting Jaya to please come on stage. So kindly requesting Secretary Madam to please address the community. Thank you very much.
A very warm welcome to our honorable and very, very respected Governor of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, Shri Rajendra Vishwanath Arlekar ji. We are also delighted that we have the presence today of Madam Anagha Arlekar ji. Incidentally, the name Anagha, as you know, is the name of Mahalakshmi, and we're very special. It's an unusual name, so when I heard it yesterday, I'm quite happy that the mother gave so much of importance to the aspects of the four aspects of the mother, Shri Aurobindo. Sir, as you have seen in the presentation today, we gave you a little glimpse of what all was the vision of Auroville, and I think in a very humble way, we must say that the vision of the city is unparalleled. Nowhere anywhere in the world do you have a vision of this kind. This is what Mother so painstakingly at the young age of about 90s her whole life, the consecration of her entire life, the essence of it was in this magnum opus called Auroville, where she didn't leave anything in a sketchy way or in a very imprecise way, but she actually gave all the details. We have a document which was back then also submitted to a funding entity, and she has actually given all the dimensions, the population, demographic, how many people of which age group will be located where, how many houses. So that's the kind of detailed precision that she gave, and in a very humble way. Now, while mother was, as she started so many activities in Pondicherry, we also have today our sisters and brothers from Pondicherry, because these are all children of the mother, whether it is people belonging to the ashram or Auroville or society or the world at large, because after all we are all children of the Divine Mother. But when she conceived of this plan, she wanted the city to be built in 5 years. So this is a conversation that I had with a very senior Aurovillian called Pashiji, who is no more physically present here with us. But the then architect that she had chosen, he protested and said, "Mother, 5 years will be difficult. Please give us 10 years. She relented. So 1968 to 1978 was the timeline for us. But human nature, that's the biggest challenge and opportunity that we have. And here we are working not to build only a city of brick, mortar and gravel. That is the activity she got us to do. But I think the real thing she wants to knit in all of us is our human nature and the panchakosha, as I said, the physical, vital, the intellectual, mental part, and then of course the dimension of beyond mind, the supramental. So these dimensions of each individual, and there is also something that I cannot hold myself back at this point. There's so much. Very recently, sir, we also celebrated the anniversary of the Uttar Para speech, the famous Uttar Para speech that was given by Shri Aurobindo. He was one of the greatest revolutionaries that India produced, although in some ways his father wanted no Chhatrachaya, not even the shadow of Bharatiyata to fall on him, and he was packed off to England for his education. But as existence and nature has a way of really coming back with a vengeance to really fulfill her mission. And so when he came back here at the age of 21, and then in Baroda, he served at what was then called the Sayaji Rao School as the in-charge principal of the English college, as well as the administrator for the Gaikwad Maharaja Sayaji Rao. But after that, when he went to the revolutionary struggle, Alipur bomb case, we know all of that. But in the Uttar Para speech, he spoke of the meaning of Sanatana Dharma, which is often misunderstood. What is Sanatana? He elaborated to say, it very simply means it's the same divine, which is there in me, in you, in every living object, non-living object. So there is no other. And if that's the case, how can we be different? We are all one. And that not only applies to everybody within this great nation of Bharat, but even across boundaries. If there is no other, if it's the same divinity in a person coming from Sweden, or in a person coming from Vietnam, or a person coming from Belgium. So we are all, there is nothing like, there is somebody different. So this concept of nationalism and internationalism. And that is how the city, the foundation of it was based on his seminal work called The Life Divine, where our Indian philosophy, a lot of times, there have been distortions in the past. Sometimes when even something very treasured, he in fact called this the secret of the Veda. He said the Vedas speak of this, and sometimes a long time it gets mutated or slightly misunderstood. So it was decided that people who want to move inward go to the caves, take a different path, and people who want to excel on the material take a different path. But Sri Aurobindo again said, like the Isha Upanishad says, we need a grand synthesis where the journey within and the journey of excelling on the physical front on this plane as well have to go together. The two are not divorced. And that is how he spoke in Life Divine. He's written about having that divinity come down and pervade every aspect of life. And this city was meant to be a small prototype to demonstrate that. And that is why people from all over the world were invited, welcomed to be a part of this grand experiment. And she had designed all the details. So we are very happy that Auroville in the last 58 years, and particularly last 5 years, with a lot of acceleration, we are really consecrating ourselves at the lotus feet of Mother and Shri Aurobindo to manifest this beautiful vision that she had in all dimensions. The city, physical infrastructure, roads, all of it. The green, we have people from the green service also, Sharavanan, Aviram, I can see them all here. And then not just that, the finance, the institutions, sir, we also want to share with you that there are nearly 700 units, trusts and activities. We make a lot of products, services and various things which are for the economic sustenance, to make this place self-sustaining and self-supporting. And then of course education, which is literally the anchor, the pivot of this place. And the center of Auroville is Matru Mandir, which sir had the joy, I think ma'am was just sharing, of experiencing. We were there at the chamber, and there is so much of contribution from different people, selfless contribution. There are people with high qualifications who come and spend their whole day cleaning the Matru Mandir with a sense of offering a devotion. And I look at you, Tulsi, because when I see you and look at your hands, I feel that they're so privileged to be able to clean. So this is a small experiment, and we are absolutely delighted today that you have come here, and madam is also here. And we have the vision, as was explained, we have to create housing. We want to have, the vision is, as the mother gave, to have 50,000 people from all over the world. So today we have a population of nearly 3,000 people, which includes children and adults. So this is like a question of gaps in infrastructure. We are very actively working on all of that. And we are absolutely determined, committed, and with a lot of faith, sincerity and surrender, we're working towards realizing what the mother wanted us to do, and realize that the core of this is battling or also working with human nature, not just around us, within us, because I think this is an alchemy that happens. We're all in the process of offering ourselves to make this happen. So we are delighted that you're here today, sir, and we would like to also have a few things that are planned with your kind presence. Thank you very much, ma'am and sir, for being here. Namaste. Pranam. Vanakkam.
Thank you very much, madam. So now I would like Secretary Madam to hand over mementos to Tamil Nadu Governor sir and Srimati Arlekar madam. Please join on stage. requesting, please, ma'am, everyone to be seated. So as a long-awaited event, so we're going to distribute the ID cards to everybody. So we'll be reading out one by one. So kindly, without wasting time, please come and receive it. Kindly requesting Secretary Madam and Honorable Governor Sir to please distribute the ID cards. Thank you very much. So Muriel, please come on stage. Yeah, no? Soni Chin, please come on stage. Muriel. Soni Chin. Nadine Thai. Darshana. Michael Bonke. Michael Bonke. Okay. Akshay Mehta, Auromitra. Okay. Karan Parekh, Auromitra. D. Rajalakshmi. Auro Sharma Yogi. Satish E. D. Sharma Yogi. Auro Sharma Yogi. La Taroz, newcomer. Tia, newcomer. Kia. Kindly requesting to please. Sir. Kindly requesting Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu and Kerala to please address the residents. Thank you, sir.
I'll just sit with you so that if I stand, it will be a speech and one-sided one. So this is just an interaction with you, nothing, and probably learning from you all. Very good morning, everybody here. I am very much pleased to be here along with my wife, Lady Governor Anaga. She is along with me here. Oh. Yes, Secretary to Lieutenant Governor is sitting with me here. I welcome him to this very sacred city of Auroville. This city, in fact, I have been dreaming to come here some day or other. But today is the day when I made it here because of Dr. Jayanti ji. She was after me, you have to come someday here. Since I took the charge of governorship of Tamil Nadu, we have read about this particular city, Shri Aurobindo, Mataji, that is the mother. We have read about all these things. But when I came here today, along with my wife, both of us felt that the mother, she is just around here, all this atmosphere. We could feel that she is here and she is blessing all of us. everything that is happening here with her blessings and with her guidance, that we could feel. We went to the Matra Mandir, and there it was a great, great experience for all of us. As has been mentioned, India or Bharat has a role to play in the world. The very existence of this country is in the interest of the world. That is why we have always dreamt Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And we have always dreamt of Krinvanto Vishwam Aryam. Here, we should not mistake the meaning of Arya. Arya is not a race. Arya is a quality. Quality of the people of this country. Whole world, full Vishwa will be good. That goodness within the people has to reach towards every human being in the world. And that is exactly what the mother taught us. Her dreams were same as that of Shri Aurobindo. Aurobindo has given us, he has predicted that India will be guiding this whole world within next 100 years. And his prediction is coming true now because whole world is looking at us. So that sense of being a guide to the world, or in, let us put it in a different word, Vishwa Guru. That Vishwa Guru we have had been always. But as she was mentioning, she mentioned about Macaulay. And we have been, our thoughts were just guided just to destroy ourselves. Destroy our thoughts, our practices, our great culture, our great Sanatana Parampara. These were the things which we have started committing, and we thought that whatever Macaulay had taught us was the right thing. Now, the tides are changing. Things have changed. No more Macaulays will be there. With the blessings of Aurobindo and the Mataji and the mother, we are growing day by day. The very education itself, which should have been integrated with our soil, was not being taught to us, is now being a part of our life. It is the way the education should have been. So that is what great achievements we are doing here, getting here. And this particular place is a guide for all such things. The change which we are seeing or looking forward after few years, that change is happening here. Anybody in the world can come here and see what the change is, what the world is to be. The mother told us, there is no religion here. It is only the humanity that is to be propagated. And that humanity is being taught and propagated from this sacred soil where Mataji has given us all the guidance. When I say Mataji, I refer to the mother. So this mother has given us everything that we need to do in coming future. And she has always visualized, yes, this everything has to be done from this country, this culture, this historical land, this geographical land. There will not be any more boundaries now. That is what she has been propagating, she has been teaching us. I am very happy to come here and see this. I am fortunate to be the governor of Tamil Nadu, And today I felt, yes, I am more than fortunate to be here to see, witness, and experience the very atmosphere, the essence which Mataji, the mother, has given to us. And you all are so much fortunate here. You feel, when I look at you people, everybody is so happy, fulfilled. What we call in Sanskrit is a sarthak. We feel ourselves sarthak. And that sarthakta can be seen on your faces. Yes, we have achieved and we are achieving. There is no negativity here. No negativity. Nobody can experience negativity here. Whosoever comes here, even for a small period or for a small little while, he will take only positivity from here. And I and my wife, both of us are blessed. We feel that we are taking that maybe a small portion, but that positivity we will be carrying. We will be trying throughout our lives to spread this positivity in the world. Both of us will try for this. That is us. We are. And lastly, the education is the best field to propagate. And that education, how many institutions are here? 40 institutions are here. In all 40 institutions. Incidentally, both of us we are related to some institutions. We both of us are coming from Goa. So we are running some institutions, educational institutions in Goa. And one of those institutions is for specially abled children. That is what we are trying to do. And we feel blessed. We are more guided now with the very presence of the mother here. I always feel mother is here. She is amongst us. She is guiding all of us, not only me, all of us. You people are more fortunate than me. You are staying here, experiencing her presence, her feelings, her shwasa and uchwasa. Both you are experiencing this. Both of us we feel obliged. I feel both of us will be coming here often, and we will like to spend some more days here so that we will get more and more inspiration. Namaskaram. Nandri.
We are glad and thankful to the presence of the Honorable Governor, Madam, Secretary Madam, OC Sir, and all those who joined today. Thank you very much. Thank you.